Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle, where I talk about electronic music, both new and old. And today I am talking about the new album from Zhu, Generationwhy. Zhu is the stage name for, well, Stephen Zhu, the Chinese-American newcomer electronic producer. The guy started out 2 years ago with an EP called Night Day, on which there was a particularly big single called Faded. Personally, I didn't really think much of it. Had some cool, more laid-back vibes, weirdly pitched vocals, and a fairly catchy melody, but it didn't really stick out to me as anything special. Of course, the single was also pretty big. Heck, it was nominated for a Grammy, so what do I know? Something sounded kind of familiar about his usual style, though. I couldn't really put my finger on what at the time, and I just kind of moved on and forgot about him. The guy also made an EP called Genesis Series after that, which was a fairly big improvement from Night Day, showing quite a bit of variety of styles and proving that the guy wasn't just a one-trick pony. It wasn't amazing or anything, but if you can successfully collaborate with Bone Thugs and Harmony, Skrillex, and Aluna George, sound noticeably different in all three instances, and still maintain your identity, you gotta be doing something right. We'll have to admit that I never actually heard said EP until after I heard the album I'm currently reviewing, but still, impressive. Well, anyway, a couple of days ago, this debut album kinda appeared on iTunes out of nowhere, and I got curious and checked it out. So, how did it turn out? Well, it definitely started out fairly strong. The intro sounded pretty cool, with the city sound effects, trumpet, and narration of a Maya Angelou poem. Pretty cool way to start out the album. Cold Blooded had these cool electric piano chords, filtered vocals, and more jazzy trumpet. Really do like the way he used the trumpet in a couple of these tracks. In the Morning had a neat piano intro and Zhu's own vocals. By the way, Zhu sings on pretty much all the songs on here. And, I'm not entirely sure about this guy's voice. Like, he's not bad, he hits all the notes, which I suppose is more than I can say for myself. But, I don't know, like, his voice is really high and falsetto-y. Like, The Weeknd always seemed to sing an octave above most singers, but Zhu seems to sing, like, an octave above The Weeknd. Like, I guess it would make sense that he would model himself after the biggest star in R&B right now, but, I don't know. Guy's voice isn't that great in my opinion. Like, The Weeknd has a high voice, but his persona still sounds convincing to me. Zhu, not so much. I still kind of see him as, like, this kind of newcomer producer with only 2 years of experience behind him. Yes, I realize he's, like, 6 years older than me. And, you know, there's big producers right now that are actually much closer to my age, but, never mind. Let's get back to the thing I'm used to talking about, the production. You know how I said earlier how something sounded really familiar about the guy's usual style when I first heard Night Day 2 years ago? Well, it finally occurred to me where that deja vu was coming from with this album. Like, it took me a while. The first 3 tracks didn't let me on the secret. But then I got to the track Secret Weapon, and it all hit me all at once. This guy sounds like Disclosure. Like, a lot like Disclosure. That track and Electrify Me, in particular, are like dead ringers for Disclosure's style. I could not unhear that, and now I hear it in pretty much all the other songs on that album. Like, it's less obvious in some tracks than others, but the influence absolutely had to be there. I mean, on the Genesis series, he did a collaboration with Aluna George called Automatic. That sound familiar? And on this album, there's the song Money. Now, this song reminded me of a Disclosure song, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me which one. No, that's not it. Dang it. It is a Disclosure song, right? You know, the one that goes, "Ooh, I feel it in my bones." You know that one? Dang it, it's a deadmau5 song. I hate it when a song pops into my head and I think it's a different artist. But yeah, that's the song that pops into my head every time I hear Money. The melody clearly borrows off of Sia by deadmau5. Heck, the production is pretty similar too. Wait, what was my original point? That this guy sounds like Disclosure? Alright, maybe not 100%. Like, Secret Weapon, Electrify Me, Good Life, and I suppose, to a lesser extent, Reaching, they all sound really Disclosure-y. But I suppose that's not a totally fair representation of the guy's style. He definitely takes a lot of cues from the Brothers Lawrence, but aside from those songs, I don't think I'd actually call him a ripoff. First of all, the guy really likes using real instruments, something I can always respect. He uses trumpets, he uses saxophones, pianos, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, all actually pretty well inserted. I also like the City Field recordings and occasional voice samples he uses. Now, I already mentioned the intro, but I think the song that best encapsulates everything this album has to offer is Palm of My Hand, utilizing all of the above little touches and offering a pretty nice dance groove on the side, ending with a narration in French. Numb also has a pretty cool piano-centric intro. Hometown Girl has a cool tempo change near the end. The title track is a pretty fun new disco track with some guitar licks a la Daft Punk's Get Lucky. The guy knows how to make things interesting, if nothing else. Alright, so now that I've kinda run out of things to ramble incohesively about, what do I think about it as a whole? Well, I don't think it's the best thing ever or anything, but I did enjoy it. Sure, there were some parts where he sounded a bit too close to his own influences, and I'm not a huge fan of his singing, but he did find ways to make the album interesting and enjoyable regardless. I'd recommend Disclosure or deadmau5 over this in a heartbeat, but if you already follow these house music circles, you'll probably like it just fine. As for me, it didn't blow me away, but I find it enjoyable enough. I'm overall feeling a 7.3 out of 10. Favorite tracks: Cold-Blooded, Numb, Palm of My Hand, Hometown Girl, and Generationwhy. Least favorite track, Electrify Me. But of course, this is just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave the comments in the comment thing down there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today. See you next time.